What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Grant's Lawn Care. This is your host, Simon. Thank you for joining me on this Monday, June the 23rd, as we are getting ready to take another property and get it serviced up and looking good. So we're going to dive on into it. We have not had rain, I'd say, here in probably about a week. So the rain has not been a factor lately and, hindering the services from being done. However, this heat wave that has sit over the South Carolina area and millions of other people under this same heat wave, but I'm just saying here where I'm at in South Carolina, this heat is so brutal. The highs of the day reaching in the 90s, but when you add the heat index to it, puts it over triple digits. So everyone already knows this, but just saying it out of habit, stay safe out here in this heat and stay hydrated. And when you feel yourself just getting too tired and feeling like you can't do anything else for the day, hey, just be smart. If you got 10 properties on the books to do that day and you only feel good enough after you've done 6, save those other 4, because you don't want to end up in the emergency room, from heat exhaustion, heat stroke, or whatever the case may be. So just be smart out here in this heat and this weather in general. And again, thank you all for tuning in and spending, your morning, noon, or night with me on the channel. So sit back, enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll try to make it this short. So I want to bring everyone up to par on what's been going on with the new mower and why you see me here on the Liberty Z. You may ask yourself, why would you go out and get another mower but you're still using the old one? Well, for those who haven't really been up to par with everything or been following the last couple of videos, the issue that I've been running into with the mower is it cutting off, sometimes immediately after I crank it up. Well, this same day here, I ended up trying to get to my first property around 5 in the morning. So I actually got there about 5:15, 5:20 and had the blades engaged about 5:25. And the reason being, as soon as I cranked the mower up to get it off the trailer, it cut off immediately. So anyway, I got the mower off the trailer, started mowing, and this mower has the motion kit on it, and everyone knows I'm a bi-weekly service provider for the majority of my yards. So it was wet, it was dewy, and the mower just wasn't having it. It really just was not having that wet, thick highway grass. And I decided I was going to try to take the side chute off and turn it into a discharge, until I can get the yard mowed and get out of there. But the mower just was doing way too much. It kept cutting off. After I took the side plate off, to let the deck discharge out into the open, the baffle was starting to get hit by the blade. So it just was a really rough start to that Monday morning. So I ended up getting this property done, and I ended up doing one more. And I went home, dropped the Liberty Z off, loaded the Tiger Cat 2 up, and went straight to the dealer that I bought the mower from. So what the dealer boiled it down to was possibly the sensor in the seat is going bad. It's not detecting my weight on the seat. So when it thinks I'm probably, falling off the mower or whatever the case may be, the safety feature is kicking in to cut the mower off. So after the fact, he showed me how I can resolve it, via buying a new switch, and or another little trick and then I looked it up online after digging even deeper, of running a wire to the safety sensor, overriding the feature. But anyways, I ended up, coming back home. It was an hour trip to the dealer, an hour trip back, so 2 hours in just to be told, you might as well say a 15-minute fix. I was pretty, annoyed yesterday. And I say yesterday because this is a voiceover. I was pretty annoyed, Monday morning, because I had in my mind that, I was going to get these properties serviced. I was going to give this mower, a good run, and it just did not want to cooperate. So me doing this voiceover, which is Tuesday, I went out and I used the Liberty Z to get my route, for the day completed. And I came home and jumped on the Skag Tiger Cat 2, and I did my neighbor's yard, just as I stated I was going to do if you follow me on Instagram. But lo and behold, the mower started cutting off. And what I did was I bounced and shifted my weight around on the seat, and before it cut completely off, it re-engaged and kept going. So I think it's boiled down to the seat sensor. I'm thinking I'm going to end up getting a brand new seat sensor within the next couple of days and putting it on. And I'm hoping that that's the 100% problem with it. But the next thing I am going to do for sure is, like I said a few moments ago, I cut early in the mornings. That's just what I do. So I can get to work in the afternoons if I'm working part-time hours. That mulching kit is lovely, and it leaves a very beautiful cut, but it's coming off. I'm taking it off. I'm going to turn that mower into a side discharge mower again, and I'm just going to end up investing, into chute blocker with the handle on it, the advanced chute, or like I said, I seen on it was LJJ's lawn care green guard. I would just have to invest in one of those, and it probably won't be this season because I have literally dipped into so much of financial, funds so far, especially like I said, purchasing this mower, till I just about to, at this point, have a standstill with spending, because it's just so much is going out versus coming in. I got the steady clientele right now, but I have to put a pause on my spending right now, just because I've seen what I've spent in the last few months, and with the price of gas literally going up right before our eyes, I'm gonna have to put the brakes on, just buying, small things like that, and may put it off until the next season, which will be the 2026 season. So that's just up to par right now with the Tiger Cat 2. I hope to goodness that is the problem. I will be dealing with that ASAP, and hopefully that mower will be the next mower that you see in a video being used. So that's bringing you up to par right now with what's going on with the Tiger Cat 2. Let's talk about what else went on Monday. So I had in my plans to spray Monday with my Vivor backpack battery powered sprayer. When I first got the sprayer, it was A1. It was putting out the pressure. It was doing everything it was supposed to do. The second time I went to use the sprayer, it was acting as if, it didn't want to apply the application out. It was just barely putting out any product. So I was like, well, let me make sure the battery's fully charged. So I went ahead, I charged the battery up, let it get a full green light, took it out. This same day I'm having the problems with the Skag Tiger Cat. I went to spray the property, barely putting out any application with a full battery and everything. So I'm not 100% sure what's going on with that. It's just been acting up the last 2 times. And like I said, now that I see it's not the battery, I've checked the lines. The flow has been coming out of the lines pretty good. I took the tip off. I took the line off at the connection part in the middle of the wand, and I had a pretty good flow of stream of product coming out. So I can't 100% say what's going on with this Vivor backpack sprayer. I've been looking at videos on YouTube, seeing what everybody else has had to deal with those, and right now I'm gonna try one more trick that somebody said on YouTube, and if it doesn't work, at this point I'm gonna just go ahead and purchase me another manual backpack sprayer and call it a day. So that's just to enlighten you on the Vivor backpack sprayer. Like I said, it was outstanding the first times I used it, but all of a sudden after the fact, I don't know exactly what's going wrong, because it'll cut on just fine. It'll cut on like the pump is strong and ready to go, and once you squeeze that trigger to get the application to come out, it's barely doing anything. So I'm gonna do a little bit more diving into that, and if I can't figure it out, I'm gonna probably reach out to Vivor and see whether there's a return policy. I've had it a while now, and I got it off Amazon. So I've been reading on the Vivor website, about how things can be returned within like 90 days. So I don't know exactly. That's just homework I have to do between now and the next couple of days. But just to bring you up to speed on that Vivor backpack, that's what I'm dealing with, in regards with it. So yeah, Monday was just definitely a Monday. It just felt like I went backwards. I did get my properties mowed, but I wasn't able to get anything sprayed. So, but all in all, I'll just say at the end of the day, I'm still blessed. God is good, and I was able to get things done. Thank goodness for the Liberty Z. And like I said, I just went ahead and picked up me another manual backpack sprayer. I think I'm just stray away from the battery powered right now, and just work from there. This is going to conclude this video. I'm about to dip out of here and head to the next property. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully what I talked about, enlighten you, just bring you up to speed for those of you who've been, like I said, really riding on the channel and keeping up with things that I have going on. LJJ Lawn Care again. Hey, I'm going to talk about the fence problem that I had with the Karen. Hopefully in my next video, because you did ask me about it, so I haven't forgot. But again, I'm going to be checking up out of here. Again, thank you for spending your time with me here on Grant's Curb Appeal Lawn Care, and I will catch everyone on the next one. Y'all be safe. Peace. And just a quick side note, I normally do the shrubs on this property, but I have not been requested to do so yet by the customer. So right now they're overgrown, and minus these what you see right here, the ones that you see early in the video, they're overgrown and have not been touched in a while. So until I'm requested to do so, they're just gonna have to be that way. So if you're wondering about the shrubs, that's the reason why they have not been, taken care of. Just waiting on the customer to say if that's something that they want handled, and if not, hey, that's fine and dandy as well.